Hey guys, so this is a different kind of video than the ones that I usually make because this is a serious one. So you guys don't know about the situation, just to recap really quickly. So there's a YouTuber named Mr. Beast who has an employee named Ava Tyson. Recently, she's been accused of being a groomer and has shown some pedophiliac tendencies. For example, she has purchased art that depicts another YouTuber's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic setting. She has also been seen tweeting to a minor some inappropriate things, such as saying that she was going to send nudes to this minor. And she has also been caught posting a picture saying like "coming for America" in a group chat that also contained that minor. So those are just some examples of what she's been shown doing. And if you want a more in-depth read on the whole situation, I suggest going to another video. I'm just here to recap. So before I get into the weeds of what I think about this whole situation, I just want to reiterate that I absolutely do not condone this kind of behavior. For example, purchasing art that depicts an 8-year-old in a sexual way, I think that's pretty abhorrent. Tweeting to a minor that you are going to send nudes to them, that's pretty inappropriate. So yeah, as an adult, doing those things to your minor, not cool. You should not be doing that for obvious reasons. However, this is the thing that bothers me about the whole situation. Our society has such a stigma for pedophilia that any behavior associated at all with that kind of behavior is subjected to extreme vitriol. Like Ava Tyson, she's like cooked. Like she's finished. And of course, I understand like the hate and the vitriol. It shouldn't be an argument as to why it's bad. And like, I totally understand why it gets the hate that it gets. But here's my question, and the thing that really concerns me. Technically, Ava Tyson has committed no crimes. Inappropriate? Gross? Yes, absolutely. But a crime? Not yet. So here we have someone who has shown pedophilic tendencies. My question now is, how do we get this person the help that they need? Because, okay, if we see pedophilia as a mental illness, for example, right now we see depression as a mental illness, right? And if you have depression and you're open about it, you can go to therapy and then you can work it out. You can try and figure out what causes the depression, and you can discuss strategies with your therapist as to how you can combat these feelings of depression. You know what I mean? But for pedophilia, where do you go? Because of the extreme stigma we have for pedophilia, just admitting that you have pedophiliac tendencies, oh my gosh, you're just going to be absolutely cooked. You might as well just jump off a cliff. People will much rather be accused of murder than to be accused of pedophilia. Like, there is no safe space for someone who has pedophiliac tendencies to come out and get the help they need, because we haven't created that safe space. And like, I totally understand why. I'm not blaming you for hating pedophiles, okay? That's not the point. Like, it should be obvious, but I am also against pedophilia, okay? But it's just that my question is, how do we get these people the help that they need? And you can't just say, oh, just don't be a pedophile, or like, stop being attracted to kids. Because if it were that easy, then we should be able to stop pedophilia with like a street sign, you know? With a sign that says, stop fucking kids. And then like the pedophiles would be like, oh shit, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm so stupid, I shouldn't have even thought of that. Like, it's not just as simple as telling a pedophile to stop being a pedophile. There's like an underlying issue that's there that we need to resolve. I don't know what that is. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, but there's an issue there, right? There's something that's there that needs to be resolved. And right now I'm looking at it as a mental illness. And in the past decade or two, we've created safe spaces for people with mental illnesses to like come out, or at least we're in the process of creating more safe spaces for people with mental illness. It's becoming more socially acceptable to say that you have a mental illness and that you're working through it, like you have ADHD, or you have like depression, you have anxiety. And I'm not saying those things are comparable to pedophilia. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we just don't have a safe space for people to come out and get the help that they need. As I said, people would much rather be accused of murder than to be accused of pedophilia. And the problem that I see with this is, again, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychologist, but in my opinion, I feel that the more repressed something is, the more likely that repressed desire is going to come out in a very negative way. And the example I'd like to point out is Republicans and homophobia. And if you don't know what I mean, I basically mean that, as you know, Republicans can be seen as being extremely homophobic. And it has been proven that some of these extremely homophobic Republicans have been caught attending gay orgies or something like that. Their self-induced hatred and vitriol for homosexuality resulted in them acting out those desires that they condemn so much. And I'm not saying being gay is the same as pedophilia. Of course I'm not. But what I am saying is that the more repressed a desire is, the more likely it's going to come out. And that is really concerning, because we have created that really terrible environment so that people with pedophiliac tendencies, they have to repress those desires. And we've seen what that does to someone. What I'm saying is that the extremely negative environment that we've created in regards to discussing pedophilia is the same environment that potentially fosters more pedophiles to commit these heinous acts. And my question now is basically, how do we resolve it? For me, I think it's just a matter of somehow being able to create a safer space in which people who have pedophiliac tendencies can get the treatment that they need from someone who is a professional before they can harm children. And again, this is not the same as me saying I support pedophiles. All I'm trying to say is, if a single conversation is all that it takes to save a child from murder, from rape, from going through as something as devastating as being sexually assaulted by an adult, then isn't it worth it to try and have that conversation? And that's basically what's been plaguing my mind over this whole Kris Tyson situation. Because I've been seeing some really shitty takes on Twitter or X, whatever. Like, people have been saying that, like, you know, some terrible things about the trans community because of this situation. And this is not a trans problem. This is not an LGBT problem. This is completely separate. This is a pedophilia issue, right? This is a mental illness issue. Actually, I don't even know if it's even a mental illness issue, because I mean, I don't have the research. I don't know if pedophilia is a mental illness or if it's something in a completely different caliber on its own. All I'm trying to say is that perhaps we need to take a more empathetic approach when it comes to people who are showing pedophiliac tendencies. Because extreme shaming of pedophilia clearly does not prevent pedophilia. So what does? Anyways, yeah, that's everything I have to say for now. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I'm interested to know if I'm the only one who thinks like this. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Is there another way to combat pedophilia? Is there another thing that I'm missing here? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that's everything I have to say for now. So thanks for watching, and bye-bye.